In the heart of modern-day Bengaluru, Valavan sat trapped in a sea of honking cars and shimmering heat. He was an ordinary man with an extraordinary feeling, a heavy, regal weight in his chest that didn't belong to this century. As the city hummed around him, memories that weren't his own began to flicker like candle flames in a drafty hall. He felt the phantom touch of a silk robe and the cold echo of a long-lost crown. The pull of the past led Valavan to the gates of the great temple in Thanjavur. As he stood before the towering granite walls, the air grew thick with the scent of ancient incense. He realized he was not just a visitor. He was a soul returning home. This stone giant had been raised by his own command in another life, when he was known to the world as King Arulmozhi-Varman, the son of the Chozhar dynasty. Centuries ago, the kingdom was a tapestry of gold and steel. King Mahendran sat upon the throne, looking at his youngest son, Valavan, with pride. A king's words must be precious, the old ruler said, but his heart must be made of the very land he protects. Valavan listened, learning that power was a gift from the people, and peace was a fragile glass that required constant guarding. Valavan's greatest joy was his elder brother, Prince Senganan. Senganan was a storm on the battlefield, a warrior whose laugh could shake the palace rafters. They shared secrets under the banyan trees and dreams of a unified empire. Whatever happens, little brother, Senganan promised, placing a hand on Valavan's shoulder. The Chozhar blood will never falter. But shadows grew in the corners of the empire. At the palace of Kadambur, the air turned cold with treachery. A disgruntled official named Kallen moved through the dark, driven by an old vendetta. In a moment that changed the course of history, Senganan was cornered. The brave prince fell not to an army, but to a blade in the dark, leaving a hole in the heart of the kingdom that no crown could fill. Grief forged Valavan into a new kind of leader. He stepped onto the throne, not with a cry of war, but with a vision of eternity. He became the king of kings. Yet the memory of his brother's blood haunted his dreams. He sought to build something that would outlast the pain, a monument to the divine that would anchor his people's souls to the earth forever. The construction of the Peria Udayar temple began. Valavan worked closely with the master architect, watching as massive boulders were dragged by elephants and shaped by 1,000 hammers. This temple will be the breath of the Chozhars, Valavan told the builder. They designed a sanctum so grand that even the shadows seemed holy, a place where the king hoped to find the peace that had eluded him. However, pride began to cloud the king's vision. When the temple was nearing completion, Valavan clashed with his spiritual guide, the sage Karovan. The guru insisted the sacred rituals be performed in the native tongue of the land, but the king, influenced by new advisors, chose a different path. The air between the king and the saint crackled with unspoken lightning. Betrayed by the king's decision, Guru Karovan turned his back on the golden city. Before he vanished into the forest, he spoke a word of power that vibrated through the granite floor. He who enters this place with pride of position shall find his glory stripped away, the guru declared. The curse settled over the temple like a heavy mist, a debt of spirit that would wait centuries to be paid. In the present day, Valavan, the man from Bengaluru, reached the quiet town of Karur. He knelt at the shrine of the ancient guru, feeling the weight of the old king's pride finally lifting. He whispered a prayer for forgiveness, not just for himself, but for the history he carried. In the silence of the shrine, the storm finally ended, and the heir of the Chozhars walked out into the sunlight, finally free.